what can I say about this lady? She has a #1 bestseller. The book is called When All Is Said and Done. She is the winner of the Newcomers of 2019. That's the Irish Book Awards. Her book is available from Mullingar in Mullingar, but Ireland, UK, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, among many other fantastic countries that are locked down. And not forgetting, this book has been translated into 17 different languages, and I think it's building, because her husband told me last week it's more than that now. So if you want to get this book, it's available on the Google machine. So if you just put in, the lady's name is Anne Griffin. That's right. And if you look for Anne Griffin, writer, you can get that book. So put it into Googler, and you can get it on Twitter, you can get it on Facebook, or you can get it on Google, and you can buy the book. All these fantastic things. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the lady in question, Miss Anne Griffin. Yes, we have you. Oh, God, turn around camera. Come on. It's going great here. Yes, we're on. Hello, Anne. How's it going? You're very welcome to the bus.
Thank you, Ray. It's such a brilliant build-up. And I'm loving the bus. This is great. This is just fantastic. Thank you so much for this wonderful reception. I'm very proud to be sitting on the bus, listening to all these wonderful people with their shout-outs. Thinking about Tommy Swarbrick.
Yeah.
Last year when I saw him in the Arts Centre with Blind Boy. Wonderful interview. Absolutely amazing. That was fantastic. And I'm thinking about John and his wonderful charity in Africa, and all of the beautiful pictures he does and all the service he gives to the community here, bringing Mullingar to life. So, wonderful, wonderful.
Well, thank you very, very much. Did you get tea?
I did.
Where's my tea?
There. Now, I've poured it there for you.
Okay.
Shall I? Look at this, everybody. Look at the reception I received. This is just amazing. My main character, Maris Hannigan, would love this.
Thank
Absolutely
you. You're serving me
this.
tea on the bus. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now, okay.
Wow.
Did you take any of the buns? Or
I haven't yet, no.
Yeah.
I didn't want
Probably
to
not a good idea when you're talking.
with it. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right, because once you're singing, people, you're doing a party and a lad hands you up a whole load of sandwiches. And you go, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
I says, go carry on. But it is very hard to sing eating.
Yeah, same kind of problem. All right.
So, my dear, sorry, my camera, I'm actually looking at these buns. Oh, God. And I just get the milk. So, the book is all said and done.
It's when all is said.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
It does come from that phrase, when all is said and done. And it was, in fact, the American publisher who came up with this, because I had a different long-winded title.
Right.
And both the UK and the American publisher said, oh, no, it's a bit long. We have to come up with something else. And they emailed me and said, how about when all is said? And it is absolutely brilliant, because it just captures this book in the title. Because this is the story of 84-year-old Maurice Hannigan, who's an Irish farmer. He sits to the bar of his local hotel in County Meath one very important night of his life. And he is there to drink 5 toasts to the 5 most important people in his life. And so over the course of these 5 toasts and these 5 drinks, we learn just who Maurice Hannigan is, his highs, his lows, his ups and downs. We realise that this is quite a cantankerous man, a man with a lot of secrets, a lot of regrets. But I hope people find him lovable and charming. And luckily, lots of people who've bought the book have said that they love him. So I'm just delighted with that. So yeah, it's gone all around the world, and yeah, pretty much you can get it anywhere, and it's great. It's wonderful.
Tell us, how did you get involved in your book? How did this book evolve?
Yeah. Well, I started writing back in 2013 when I was 44, so I was very late to writing, and I was searching around looking for the idea for a book. And myself and my husband James and our son were on holidays in Mayo on the lovely Greenway from Westport out to Achill Island, and we happened into the bar of a hotel in Newport, and there was a man at the bar, the only man in the place actually. There was no one else, not even a woman, and he had a pint in his hand, and of course as soon as he saw us walking in, he was straight over for the chat. And as you know, my husband James is a great man for the chat, and so there was a conversation kind of going on between us, and he said 2 things in the course of that conversation that set me on this fantastic journey. He said, the first thing he said was, I used to work here when I was a boy, Now, this man was in his 70s at least. And I was just taken in my head at this about like the circle of life, and here was this man still here, or had he just returned? So the writer in me was just loving this, figuring out a story for this man. And then he said to me just before he left us, because another couple came into the bar, he said, "But you know, I'm not going to see the morning." And off he went, without me being able to pull him back and say, "Pardon? Did you just say that?" So that was it. The next day, we were cycling on to Achill Island, and it was a really, really bad rainy day. So bad that actually we just decided that our son at the time was very young, that he wouldn't be able to cycle us. So I went off on the bike on my own after an argument in the Mulranny Park hotel, where me and James argued about who was going to cycle the one rented bike that we had to get back to Achill Island. Our bikes could go in the car, but anyway, I won the argument, and I got to cycle because I wanted to be on my own with this man's words.
Right.
And so there I was, the rain coming, lashing in on me, only cyclist on the Greenway that day, and this story came to me. Wow. About a man raising toasts to the most important people in his life, and through that we're learning who he is and what's about to happen at the end of the night. And
brilliant.
That's where it came from. So an MA in UCD in creative writing later, and I had the draft of this book that went out.
What do you mean an MA? Did you go to college after this trip on the bike?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Because I used to work in the book world in my 20s, so I know a few writer friends, and you know, one of them said to me, "Look, if you really want to do this, an MA is a really good idea. Like, it's not, you know, everybody who's a writer hasn't necessarily done an MA, but if you like learning, if you want to learn more, this is possibly a good idea." So the
MA gives you a sort of a channel to say, this is how you do it, this is how you put it together, this is how you...
Yeah.
And how long did it take the MA? A few months?
It was a year.
Right.
It's a year. Now, there are different MA. Ireland is full of fantastic MAs at the minute, I have to say. If people are really into writing, there's loads of them. And there's even like short courses. They're not necessarily MAs. The rise of creative writing has been very exciting in the last couple of years in Ireland. And I guarantee you there's a writing group somewhere in your locality. You don't have to have an MA. I found 12 great writing colleagues in my MA. But you find them anywhere. You find them in your local library. Guarantee it. Check out your local library, see if there's a writing group somewhere in the town, because it's a wonderful thing. Writing is a wonderful thing. It's like it's like anything. It's like knitting. It's like any craft or that you can sit with somebody else and enjoy and learn from them. Because one of the things you need people who'll be honest with you and say, "Yeah, I wonder what you're trying to do there. I'm not sure that, might you think about doing something else."
You can't ask James the whole time.
No, exactly. Oh, he's wonderful, but dear God, he's supposed to say it's wonderful. So you need an honest voice. You need
exactly,
you need people who you can trust who'll say, "I don't quite get what you're trying to do there."
Mm-hmm.
So I chose an MA, and it was a great year. If you're really into it, as I say, there are some fantastic MAs out there in Limerick, in Cork, in Galway, in Sligo now, in Belfast, and all over the world.
Tell us, where did this book bring you? So you started off in Mullingar, and you had the launch, and we were at the launch, and it was great. There was a great buzz on, and
wonderful.
off she took,
I mean, it went to number one immediately in Ireland as soon as it came out, and it was there for 5 weeks. And then it came out in the States, and then it came out in France. It's come out in Germany. Tomorrow it's coming out in Italy. It's in Australia, New Zealand. It's pretty much everywhere. So it really just took off.
And did you follow the book around? Like, do I have to go to Italy? I have to go to have to.
I should be in Italy right now.
Ah, shocking.
I should have been in America for the launch of the paperback about a month ago. I should be in Croatia in about a week's time.
So you follow this book every country. I was going to say every country.
It depends.
Yeah.
If the publisher invites you, or if a festival from that particular country, a literary festival, is looking to do a piece, say, on a debut author, a foreign debut author, you might get invited. So yeah, I had about 3 or 4 places I was to be going. I have a place that I'm supposed to be going at the end of July, but I think that'll get. Well,
the thing about it is, everyone has stopped.
Everyone
it's not a case,
stopped. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's all gone virtual. So, for example, I was doing, as I was telling you earlier, a midnight festival in the States. It was 4:00 in the afternoon for them, but I was on at midnight. So I was sitting in my sitting room at midnight a couple of weeks back. I go to sleep around 10:30 or 11. So this was a real push for me.
You had to stay awake as well.
Stay awake.
Yeah.
So I was buzzing because I had a few coffees.
Yeah.
You know, and I did have my whiskey, which is significant for this book, by the way, to have a whiskey sitting beside you. So I was.
But if you're waiting 2 hours, the bottle gets very low.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you do. So everything has gone virtual, and it's great. It's wonderful that you can still keep connecting with people and still keep spreading the word about it. You know.
And tell me, have you started another book, or is there another book on the way?
There is. I'm working on it currently. I would hope to be nearing the end of it very soon. The feedback from the UK editor has been good, so I'm just in corrections and trying to really hone it and make it sharper and deeper. And
the other thing, you're living in Mullingar, how long?
We are here, I always go by my son's age, we're here 16 years.
16 years, wow. And it was that quick 16 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're originally from Dublin?
I'm Dublin. Yeah. And we were actually living over in Mayo for a couple of years. But we came back this neck of the woods because it was just, we didn't want to move back to the city. James is from Navan, so it was kind of equidistant between both families.
Come here, Mary Cross, I have to say, and your tea is getting cold.
Oh, the tea is getting cold. It's terrible. All this chatting.
Look, it's not about the tea anyway. It's about the book. The book is When All Is Said and Done.
When All Is Said.
Tell us, will you read a little bit for us?
I will. If you have 3 minutes out there, people.
Yeah,
you can
have you 3 minutes? Mary, have you 3 minutes? Anyone out there, have you 3 minutes? Just give us a thumbs up.
Get your cup of tea now.
Yeah, well, they probably have their tea on.
Sit down comfortably, or if you're in that queue, I don't know.
Yeah, people are everywhere now on their phones.
Okay, glasses going on.
Yeah, I need them as well. They're very important.
Just to let you know that the little piece I'm going to read from is from the toast that Morris raises to his son Kevin.
Okay.
When you were small, no more than 4, I came in late one evening. The kitchen was empty, spick and span as it always was straight after the dinner. I knew Sadie would have been elbow deep in soapy water, scrubbing the kitchen back to order not an hour before. My place lay set at the table. And as I lifted the saucepan lid off my dinner and stuck it in the aga, I could hear voices from down the hall. I sat to the Meath Chronicle, perusing the market news. But try as I might not to let it, the laughter got the better of me, and in the end I left the paper down and headed in your direction. The bathroom door was open, and as I passed I could see the bath still quarter full, with a couple of surviving suds and a yellow duck floating among them. I held back in the hallway, peering in at the pair of you next door in your bedroom. Kevin, I love you. Your mummy loves you, Sadie said, marking every word with a kiss to your tummy as you lay on the ground being dried. She loves every bone of you. Do you know that? You replied, happily watching puffs of white rise from the Johnson's baby powder container every time you pressed its middle. And does Kevin love Kevin? Puff upon puff of whiteness filled the air. Does Kevin love Kevin? I repeated in my head. You didn't reply. Instead, you turned the talcum powder upside down, shaking it vigorously onto your tummy and the floor. Because if you love this wee boy, she continued, dispersing the powder all over you, and are always kind to him and always try to understand him, then I think he will be the happiest little man in the whole wide world. She used the corner of the bath towel to rub the white smatterings from the carpet. Will you do that? Will you love Kevin for me, you rascal? She asked, administering another tickle that let loose more squeals of laughter. I never disturbed you, but made my way into our darkened bedroom and sat on the side of the bed, looking out at the silhouette of our trees and the hills against the night sky, brightened by one of the biggest moons I'd ever seen. It was too much, even for me. A man of 43 to try to comprehend what Sadie had said, let alone a child of 4. Loving herself. The very thought. I reached for the bedside lamp, fumbling to find the switch under the shade. I pulled the curtains closed and stood looking at the brown flowers with their orange centres, one after another, row upon row. My finger rose to follow the pattern of the petals, a blackened nail and layers of hardened skin that had no hope of feeling the fibres circled anyway. Oh, you're home, Sadie said from the door behind me. I thought I'd change out of these, I said, my fingers pulling away from the flowers, pretending at taking off my jumper. A first for everything, I suppose. I left the dinner for you. I saw that. This man's off to bed. Her head nodded in the direction of your room. Are you coming in to say goodnight? I'll be in now. How many times did Sadie talk to you that way, I wonder? And is that why you are the man you are, so sure and happy in your life?
Oh, that is super duper.
Thank you.
Look, there is the book, folks. When all is said and done, there's the tea, and eventually we'll get back to it. Look, as I said, thank you very much for coming in and chatting to us on our social media platform and doing something totally different as well. As I said, this bus has sort of created its own life.
It's brilliant.
I don't know whether the engine will keep going, but the body is very, very good inside and the conditions are very good. You could actually sleep in it. But look, thank you very much. Folks, if you want to check out this book, how can we get the book? If you said, like, what's the best way if you go?
Well, you can get it on ebook, you can get it on audio. It's read by the wonderful Niall Buggy. And it's available in bookshops. You can get it online, or you can ring up your local bookshop. Stella, for example, in Just Books there in Mullingar is on the phone. She'll drop you up a book.
Yeah.
Eason's is back open. Station.
Right, yeah.
You know, they're all any kind of stationers that also sell books are back open. So for the rest of the world, it's there online. Or please check out your independent bookstore, because we want to support the little businesses as well.
So there you are, guys. Once again, this is Ray Dolan from Mullingar, in Mullingar. Keep saying that. But actually, this is called a shout-out show. Sometimes I have no idea who I am or where I am or what I'm at. But we keep going, mistakes and all. Thank you very much for looking in. The shout-out show, we hope to see us maybe at 5 o'clock. We're going to sing. And maybe tomorrow we'll do the same thing again. We have a special guest as well tomorrow. So tell your friends. Share this with everyone. And check out the cake.
Which we're now going to eat.
Bye.